Okay, great. All right. Oh, is that working? My mic. Good to go. There we go. Thank you all for attending the regular meeting of the Reno City Planning Commission, date being Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. And item number 1, Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Armstrong, will you lead the way?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Moving on to item number 2, roll call. Heather, please.
Harris Armstrong.
Here?
Manny Becerra. Here. Arthur Munoz is absent at this time. Carrie Romeyer, absent at this time. Alex Velto.
Here.
Silvio Villanueva, absent at this time. And JD Draculich.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 3, public comment. The applicant for item 5.3 has asked for a continuance to November 1st, but we will take public comment on the item, but there will be no action taken tonight. Heather, do we have any public comment or request to speak forms for that item?
Let me just say my piece. Members of the public may call into the meeting to provide public comment by using the Zoom link provided on the agenda, specifically https://links.reno.gov/3SGD28I. It should be noted for those in the audience that comments are to be addressed to the Planning Commission as a whole. Comments heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Planning Commission agenda. Please note that the Planning Commission may not take action upon any matter not agendized for possible action on today's agenda. When you are called on for public comment, please state your name for the record and begin speaking. The timer will begin when you say your name, and you will be afforded 3 minutes. If you are an attendee in the Zoom meeting and would like to make public comment at this time, please raise your hand. Lastly, while in this room, please be respectful. Warnings will be issued by the presiding officer if there is disruptive behavior, and you will be asked to leave chambers if the behavior continues. I do not have any voicemails, correspondence, or requests to speak forms for this item.
Okay. Any requests to speak forms or anything else in regards to general public comment?
No.
Anybody in this room wish to speak on general public comment? Seeing none, we will close item number 3, public comment, and we'll move on to item number 4, approval of minutes for possible action. Item 4.1, Reno City Planning Commission regular meeting of August 16th, 2023.
Move to approve.
We have a motion.
Chair, actually, I wasn't in attendance for that meeting, so I think I have to abstain.
Okay. Mike, help us out. We may only have 3. Will we need to continue that to another meeting?
Yeah. I don't think my microphone's working.
They're sticky.
Okay. Yes, we can continue that to the October 18th meeting.
Okay. We'll move item 4.1 to the next Planning Commission meeting. Closing item number 4, moving to item number 5, public hearings. Any person who has chosen to provide his or her public comment when a public hearing is heard will need to so indicate on the request to speak form provided to the secretary. Alternatively, you may provide your comment when item 3, public comment, is heard at the beginning of this meeting. We will now go to item 5.4, case number LDC 23-00053, 2400 Valley Road. And will we have a presentation from the applicant? Looks like we will.
Good evening. For the record, Dave Snellgrove, Planning Manager with CFA, here representing the applicant on the project tonight, which is Ray and Ray Foods. This is a reestablishment of use. This has to go through a conditional use permit, and staff's done a good job in providing conditions on this that we feel are reasonable. Project location, the property is just north of the railroad tracks. You have the Feather River rail line, which doesn't get a lot of use, but it gets some use. This area has been changing over and having more student housing. This has long been an industrial area that's been in some conversion over time. It's a 1.51 acre parcel. So the existing facility is set up as an industrial type use with some roll-up doors. I've got some photos that'll show you the roll-up doors. And Rain Ray Foods would be operating out of this location with reasonable hours, given that the location that they're in is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays 7 to 1. A lot of their clientele actually comes and picks up. They do have some smaller box trucks that you see for like local deliveries that'll go around to different restaurants, but they deal with a lot of food carts and a lot of smaller type operations and bringing fresh produce to them. They are closed on Sundays. So this is a conditional use permit to reestablish a pre-existing non-conforming warehousing and distribution use. Another way to say this is requested is the allowance of reestablish of a pre-existing, and this was a legally established type use on the parcel, which is warehousing and distribution. So these are some historic photos. We go all the way back to 1956. That's one of the oldest I could find. The structure was there. You can see the rail line. That's on the bottom left-hand side. We have one from 2004 and what used to be called the Stillwell Road Apartments. I'm not sure what they have it named now in the inner loop. I did that years and years ago. The area has changed, and there's been some growth of the student housing in this area. But a lot of the industrial uses are shifting over, but we have a viable, reusable building which meets the sustainability standards for the city, reusing something that can still be used. Over time, this property will, in all likelihood, change over, and there'll probably be another high-rise student housing project there. But in the meantime, we've got a use that would like to be operating there. The building can function very, very well for them, and we'd like to keep it in this use moving forward into the short to mid-run term, because Rain Ray Foods will be leasing the building. So the property is master planned, suburban mixed use that was recently changed by the city, and that accommodates for more of the student housing use and the growth of the campus. It was part of the campus master plan, but you do have an existing viable building here on the site that can function, and really doesn't function as housing or some other uses. It functions as an industrial type use. Right across the railroad tracks and actually north of Enterprise Drive, you do have ME master planning, which is mixed employment, and that is an industrial use. So we're right across the tracks from more industrial. The zoning mirrors that master plan designation, the actual zoning on the property, which recently got changed over to MF30 with some of the master plan changes. Right across the railroad tracks to the south of us is the ME zoning, which is that industrial, mixed employment industrial. So here's some photos of the site. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the internal structure of the building. It's a warehousing and distribution space. Bottom right-hand corner, you can see where there's roll-up doors. They don't use all of the roll-up doors. Really, the one on the left gets the highest amount of use. And it's people coming in and picking up, and they've got a ramp. They don't have many things that would need a truck dock height. They were operating over on Spice Island Drive, and they'd like to be operating here. There are, as mentioned before, there are conditions to help mitigate and soften some of the perceived noise, and also pedestrian access in the conditions of approval. We're in agreement with the conditions. We'd prefer not to have to put a sidewalk out there. It's probably going to be one of the biggest ones, but we know that the area is changing. We'd like to have this use be able to continue on in the use that the building was actually constructed for at least the foreseeable future. We're in agreement with the analysis that staff has provided, the recommendation of approval, and the conditions as presented by staff. I do have Manny Torres, who's with Rain Ray Foods. If you have any questions from an operational standpoint, he can answer those. And I'm available for any questions you might have about the application itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now take a presentation from the city.
Hello, good evening, Commissioners. Carter Williams, Assistant Planner for the record. Tonight, I'll be presenting staff's review and analysis of the conditional use permit to reestablish a non-conforming warehouse use. The property is located generally southeast of the intersection of Enterprise Road and Valley Road. It is east of the university and south of North McCarran Boulevard. The building is existing. Obviously, it was constructed in 1955, generally to support the industrial development pattern in the area, led by that rail line. The applicant proposes a light food distribution use with smaller trucks and limited daytime hours of operation. On 3 of the 4 sides, there is multifamily apartment complexes, generally intended to serve the university student population. This is the view from Valley Road. The property is zoned multifamily, 30 units per acre, or MF30, which prohibits warehouse and distribution as a use. In cases where non-conforming uses cease operation for longer than a year, a conditional use permit may be used to reestablish the use. So this is the process that we're going through. The property is located within the suburban mixed-use master plan land use designation. It is also within an innovation area designation according to the structure plan, which is intended to serve the university area. Generally, the project is in conformance with the SMU Master Plan Land Use Designation, as this type of use is allowed within other zones that the Master Plan supports. Associated with, or within the Master Plan policies, there is a specific one to innovation areas that considers relationships to adjacent uses because of this industrial to residential adjacency issue. So staff is tasked with analyzing that relationship, and we focused on noise impacts, pedestrian safety, and generally seeking to continue that pedestrian connection along Valley Road to the south. On the screen is a rendering of that truck dock as it exists today. So this, per conditions within the staff report, we would require a screen wall, a minimum of 6 feet high masonry, to provide some ground floor visual impacts, or like mitigation from ground floor visual impacts, as well as providing for noise mitigation. There are also conditions in play to require that all maneuvers required of trucks to occur on site, so the public right-of-way would not be able to be used to back in to dock with, or to in the normal function of the business. And that, again, is to promoting that pedestrian safety, which really doesn't exist today, as there is no sidewalk, curb, or gutter along this corridor here, along the frontage of the building. So by condition, we were requiring that this be installed to continue that connection that was that now will actually connect all the way to Enterprise Drive. On the screen now are the findings for a conditional use permit. Through staff's review and analysis, we were able to make all the findings. And on the screen is the recommended motion, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Carter. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We're going to now go to the commissioners for disclosures. Commissioner Velto, please.
Commissioner Velto, no disclosures.
Commissioner Becerra, I'm familiar with the site.
Commissioner Armstrong, no disclosures.
Commissioner Draculich, I am familiar with the site. All right, now moving on to public comment for this item. Heather, do we have any request to speak forms or anything else?
I did not receive any request to speak forms, for voicemails, or correspondence for this item.
Okay, thank you. Anybody in the chambers wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will close public comment and move it to the commissioners for questions of the applicant or staff. If we have no questions, do we want to move to discussion or entertain a motion?
Chairman, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Okay, everybody good with that? Okay, please.
In the matter of case number LDC 23-00053, based upon compliance with the applicable findings, I move to approve the conditional use permit subject to the conditions listed in the staff report, and I can make all of the findings.
We have a motion.
Commissioner Armstrong, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? None. Thank you and good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can we go back to item 5.3? We need you guys to vote on the continuance, and I misspoke earlier because we do have public comment that I forgot to mention. So
Okay.
we need to go back to it.
Okay, thank you. I was unaware there. We will go back to item 5.3, and it looks like we'll start with some public comment, you said?
Yes, we did receive correspondence. We did receive correspondence for this item. They were forwarded to the Planning Commission and are part of the record.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. Okay. All right, and so and I guess we'll confer with Mr. Rayleigh and Mr. Hall. Do we need to vote on this continuance?
Yes.
Okay, simple as that. All right, we'll need a motion to continue item 5.3 to the next meeting, or the meeting on November 1st.
Can you please include the time in your motion as well?
Got that?
Yeah, like the time that is being continued to? Yeah, the time of the meeting. Okay. Commissioner Armstrong, ready to make a motion?
Please do.
Case of LDC 23-00066, Liberty Flats Townhomes. I move to continue this item to date certain at the November 1st meeting at 6 p.m.
All right, we have a motion.
Second, Commissioner Becerra.
Great. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. That item will be moved to November 1st, 6 p.m. Thank you. So we will close item 5.3. Heather, if you're good. All right.
Yes, I am. Thank
All
you.
right. Awesome. All right. All right. Closing item item 5, I'm sorry. And moving into item 6, Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Liaison Report. Do we have, you are on that.
Yes,
Please
we
do.
had a meeting on the September 28th. There were a couple agenda items. The first agenda item had to do with designating a member to serve on the Project of Regional Significance Committee. That was continued. There was an item that was voted on to direct the regional agency to communicate with charter schools and Washoe County regarding potential land use that may affect charter schools and public schools in the future. And then there was a regional plan amendment to update the regional plan. There was also an event that was hosted by TMRPA this past Saturday, which was like an open house that they had at, where's the open house at? I believe at Idlewild. And it was an event where they just, it was at San Rafael Park, which was a picnic, just talking about what TMRPA does.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Closing item 6, moving to item number 7, staff announcements.
Just a couple of quick announcements. I believe Angela Foose forwarded all the commissioners the new ward maps. If for any reason you did not get that, would like one, just reach out to us and we'll get you those. Under items really 7.1 and 7.2 kind of joined together, Lauren Knox from the planning department will be coming before you on November 1st to do a presentation on the master plan and its interaction with the development code and the Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. So that will be on the November agenda. And just some updates on projects that you've recently heard. The East Taylor Street multifamily project that you heard last month that ended in the technical denial, that will be heard on an appeal to the city council at their next meeting. So that applicant did choose to appeal that project, and the city council will make a final decision on that next Wednesday. The Diaz Masonry Master Plan Amendment and Zone Change that you heard last month, that your approval was upheld by the city council. And then the Valley View States Master Plan Amendment, Zone Change and PUD that was at your meeting last month, that will be heard by the council on October 25th. So and that's all I have for announcements.
Thank you very much. Closing item 7, moving to item 8, commissioner suggestions for future agenda items. Any suggestions, my fellow commissioners? Seeing none, we will close item 8 and move to item 9, public comment. This item is for either public comment on any action item or for any general public comment. Heather, do we have any?
I do not have any voicemails, correspondence, or request to speak forms for this item.
Okay. Anybody in the chambers wish to comment on public comment? Seeing none, we will close item 9 and move to item 10 for possible adjournment. So moved. And we have a motion? Second. Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.